Hi, ladies. Happy super snowy day. I hope you guys are all home safe. So if you guys are, well, never mind. This is a recording. So anyway, let's dive on in. Where are my notes? Okay, here we go. All right. Well, welcome to beginning of week 3. This tends to be kind of the point where it gets just a little bit easier. What I usually find. So hang in there, keep doing the challenges, keep doing the work, and you guys will truly see good things happen for your health, for your why. And remember, your why needs to be something that you truly dig into and remind yourself of daily, okay? Excuse me. So let's jump in. Something that I wanted to kind of kick off the program with today was to talk about genetics. I used to do a video on this and I don't anymore, but I kind of feel like I maybe should. And here's the reason why. We've gotten into like this society excuse of saying, sorry, my dog just came in, of saying that like my parents had it or my grandparents have it, it's in my genetics and therefore I'm kind of SOL. And whether it's diabetes, whether it's high blood pressure, anxiety, depression, things like that. And yes, we do get things passed down to us. There's no joke there. Yes. Now, here's the difference. You can either just act like you're a victim to those things and that you're going to end up with them and not do things to prevent those. Or we can imagine those things like a switch, and we can either keep that switch off or we can turn it on. How do we do that? Through things like food, go figure, through things like sleep, making sure we're getting plenty of sleep, through things like managing stress, exercise, movement. So we have a choice, and truly our lifestyle choices can either turn that switch on or keep it off. And I want you to take the power back, because here's the thing, especially if you have kids, wouldn't you want them to have that same thought process of, oh, my grandma had XYZ and I'm just going to get it now too? No, you want to teach them how to either turn that on or keep it off. And so all the things that we are doing in this program keeps those the things we're genetically disposed to turned off. So if you need a why deeper than that, I don't know what to tell you. I think that's pretty amazing and pretty important, right? Dementia, again, diabetes, depression, heart disease, all of these things, we truly have an option as to if we do turn them on or off. So I want to challenge you to take that power back by the things you're doing, by the things that we're doing here. And I want you to create a lifestyle around that. Now, that's not to say that you can never have a late night. That's not to say you can never enjoy pizza again or a drink. It's saying that majority of our norm is at least 8 hours of sleep per night. Taking the time to really manage our stress, to really keep balance in our life. Taking the time to eat the right foods, eat them mindfully, not just scarf them down mindlessly, not paying attention. Getting some movement in. And I'm not asking you to go run a marathon. I'm not asking you to go deadlift 500 pounds. I'm asking you to do 15 minutes of movement a day. That will make a difference. One thing that I wasn't planning on talking about, but I just wanted to chat with you guys about and share with you. So if you guys haven't listened to our podcast, it's free. You should totally listen to it. Love Rising Podcast on iTunes, and leave us a review. But anyway, so we just interviewed a guy named James Fitzgerald. He is brilliant, like absolutely hands down, one of the most brilliant guys I know, to the point where he's so smart that it's like, I can't keep up with his thought process. I'm still back there and he's moving on to the next thing. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, so much good information. But anyway, one thing he said that really stuck with me was, It's not what we eat, it's how we eat it. So, I mean, there's to an extent there, right? So if he's not saying like eat processed foods and just eat them mindfully and eat them slowly and you'll be fine. That's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is it's just as important to focus on how am I eating this food? Am I eating it in front of a screen, on my phone? Am I eating it in the car? Am I shoving it down on my break? Am I feeling guilty about eating this food, or those types of things? So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, just post comments, questions, whatever you have. But that's really important because another thing we kind of spoke about was this is all about vitality, right? So it's not just about losing the 10 pounds. This is about vitality. And I think that I know that everything we're doing in here is about vitality, creating a lifestyle that equals vitality, because vitality and longevity are our end goals, right? Exactly. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that. So genetics, you have power. Don't give your power away. Okay. Number 2, affirmations. That was a challenge for you guys this week. And I know it's a challenge because I've been there and I've done it. And now all I want to, oh, is anyone here? If you are, you guys should say something. Okay, anyway. Okay, so if, once you get into the routine of affirmations, I promise you, you won't go a day without them. I want to continue to challenge you guys to speak them every day. And again, it doesn't need to be so that the whole household can hear. You can literally just sit with your piece of paper and go, I am beautiful. I am successful. I am abundant. I am loving. I'm giving. I'm receiving love. Like quiet, voice. And especially those ones that strike a chord with you, keep drilling on those, right? The ones that seem silly, those are the ones that are going to be priceless. So I find the best way to start the day is with lemon water. And we're going to set up our morning routines this week or next. And so, best way to wake up, lemon water, warm lemon water with a dash of sea salt. And then affirmations. That's like the absolute best way to wake up. Speak your affirmations. Start your day with your mindset of abundance, of love, of beauty, of self-love, of attracting the things that you want in your life. That's how you start your day, right? I want to challenge you to, instead of checking the news, checking social media as soon as you wake up, get up a little bit earlier if you have kids, and I want you guys to go read your affirmations and start your day like that versus jumping on social media, checking what people are saying, checking your email, checking the news. We're all about energy. So how are we starting our day, right? Are we starting our day out with just, sad thoughts? I mean, let's be honest. That's what the news is all about, right? It's sad, and I'm not saying don't pay attention to what's going on in the news, but we don't need to start our vibe, with that. So start with affirmations instead. Keep plugging away at them. Keep sharing them with us, and let us know if you need inspiration or anything. Moving on. Okay, I still want you guys to, if you have not yet done this, take inventory, capital I-N, inventory of what's going on, how your body's feeling, not just how much you weigh, right? Because this is not about weight, because weight lies a lot. And it's meaningless. Once you get to a point where you really love your body, it's completely meaningless. And it's too bad that we can't realize that before we get to a point that we absolutely love our body, and that we don't just love our body as it is. But we're working on it, right? So take inventory: sleep, mood, digestion, skin, energy, whatever, confidence, all these things. Take inventory, write them down. Because if you don't, I'm going to ask you at the end of this program to revisit your inventory. And if you didn't do it, what do you have to go off of, right? Okay. Moving on, noticing triggers. Thank you to those of you who posted. That was so awesome. Really good. Thank you. For those of you who didn't, I would love to see what your triggers came up as. Something I want you guys to think of, you can take these practices and use them elsewhere in our program, okay? Because if you notice triggers on like what you're eating, you can also notice triggers for when you get crabby. You can also notice triggers for like self-sabotaging things or choosing fear. In what instances are you triggered to be fearful versus choosing love? And we can go deeper into that, but you have two options, love and fear, okay? And so one thing I want you guys to start doing when you notice your trigger, take an action to replace it, right? So if your food trigger, for instance, is that when you're bored, you start to snack, go for a walk. Maybe not today, but today is actually kind of warm, so. But you know what I mean? Like start, especially as we're moving in, go for a walk, jump on a treadmill, just walk, get moving, do yoga, do stretching, call a friend, learn something, hop online and learn something. There's so many things, read a book, just work on replacing that so it doesn't become the norm for you. Okay, moving forward, visualization. I talked about visualizations this week. I love visualizations because sometimes meditation can be really hard. Visualizations generally are a little bit more enjoyable. So with visualizations, I hope you guys are practicing them, playing around with them. One that I think we may need to do as a group, and I'm actually going to record the meditation for you guys, is the cord cutting ceremony visualization. Essentially, we are energy, and this might get a little woo-woo if you're not used to this kind of discussion, but we are energy, which means you're energy, I'm energy. So when we connect, we share energy, we exchange energy. So when you go about your day, phone calls, grocery store, people you work with, your husband, your kids, all of those people we're taking on energy and we're giving away energy. And it's just this constant movement, right? But it's almost as though we're connected to them via strings of energy. So the visualization basically brings your attention to your solar plexus, which is the placement right above your belly button. We don't need to go into chakras, but you can look into chakras if you're interested. That's CHAKRAS, our energy centers. So it's almost as though you have energy beams going from your solar plexus to everyone else's that you interact with in a given day. So if you've never done this, you have a lot of cords to cut. And of course, you won't go through all of them, but do the ones that stand out most in your mind. So what you're going to do, and I'll again record it one for you guys, is you are going to sit there, close your eyes, visualize your beam of energy connected to all the other people that you've exchanged it with in your life, most recent, kind of the people come to you that need to. And from there, you start to cut. And you literally take your fingers and you start to kind of moist. So you're close your eyes, you're visualizing that person, you're visualizing the beam of energy, you're cutting, you're releasing, okay? So that's step one. And then you are just spending time in your energy, all alone, with your energy only. Like, when was the last time you truly did that? When you went like, oh my gosh, this is how my energy feels. Nobody else's. And I know it's, there's actually one of my clients on here who did it, and she said it was really hard to cut my kids. But here's the deal. You can always, when you're done in your energy, when you're rejuvenated, pull that energy beam back from certain people and connect it again. Okay, so this is really just to be in your energy, experience it, feel it, and then reconnect in a more loving way. So the next question that I was going to cover was eggs. Yes, and I kind of covered this last week, but I'll go through it again. You can have too many eggs. Essentially what happens is when we eat too many eggs, they can more or less start to ferment in your digestive system and not get the digestive enzymes that they need. And then those can cause food intolerances. Now, I eat a lot of eggs too. We have chickens. Like, I go grab eggs fresh. They're warm sometimes. So I get it. It's easy. They're quick. They're convenient. Couple things. I would usually try to stick to like eggs for only one meal, and I would shoot to not have them 7 days not have them 7 days in a row. So maybe I would even maybe shoot for like 3-ish days a week to change it up. You could even do more than that. And don't feel like you have to have like a breakfasty thing, right? You can have leftover tacos. You can have whatever. It doesn't have to be breakfast. We've been so morphed into thinking like it has to be this breakfasty food, but I love non-breakfast breakfast just as much as the next person, right? Also, that grain-free porridge, so good. So those are some ideas. There's also coconut yogurt that I like is Koyo. There's lots. There's almond and cashew, and they're good. Just make sure there's no added sugars to them. But those things are good too. So don't forget about some of those. Natural Grocers carries them. So yes. Oh, also, I wanted to comment on the no yolk thing. Egg whites are a waste of space. Sorry. Egg yolks are where all the good stuff lives. So if you guys are still eating egg yolks, get over it. Eat your yolks. They'll do you better in the end. Eggs don't cause high cholesterol, inflammatory PUFA, polyunsaturated fats too. So you don't have to be worried about those yolks. A really good book is called Eat the Yolks by, I'm blanking out on her name. Oh, she's so great. Maybe it'll come to me. Okay, moving forward. Strength versus cardio. Where should we be spending our time workouts wise? So here's the deal. Everybody is so different. Majority of my women clients are dealing with more or less some sort of burnout or fatigue because we're people pleasers. We run. We take care of everybody else. Our adrenals are shot, even if not to the full extent of like adrenal fatigue, aka HPA axis dysfunction. There's a little bit of burnout or thyroid issues or things like that. So when we do chronic cardio, our cortisol is far too high already, and then we stress our body with more cortisol, and it does not do anything good for us. And we tend to undereat. So what I ask of you is I personally, like when I train at Core Fitness, and I only train women, and when they come in, I'm like, here's the deal. We have 30 to 45 minutes. I'm combining strength and cardio into one. How do I do that? I give them some weights. I have them start doing squats. We combine some burpees, maybe some push presses, maybe some push-ups, jumping lunges, things like that, where all of a sudden we have this great workout. It's convenient, it's quick, and we've hit functionally the whole body versus a bicep curl or running. And there's nothing wrong with those things. There's a time and there's a place, but I want us to be really specific and knowledgeable about those things. I would say to do strength. I'm going to say, okay, if you're working out 5 days a week, for instance, taking 2 days of rest, that's usually what I have people do, or 3 days a week, I would say shoot for 3 days of strength, 2 days of kind of cardio. But how can you combine those two things, right? I'm talking more about straight up cardio. Like in the summers, I will go for a run maybe 2 times a week outside, maybe. But that's been like, if I don't get to it, I'm not worried. I see more results with strength, to be honest. I'm learning how to build up strength, having the proper form. And so you guys have been learning how to do squats, things like that, how to do lunges, adding some weights to them is extremely powerful. It really brings forward results. So that's kind of awesome. So I hope that kind of answered that. But yeah, let's shoot for strength, comboed at least 3 days a week. And then specific cardio you can do maybe 1 or 2 days. Okay. The next question would be, this was a good one. Okay. Putting yourself last. Raise your hand if you're guilty. Yes. Hi. We're women and we are people pleasers. And so we are really, really good at doing this because generations before us were really, really good at doing this. So it's kind of in our genetic code, right? So what I want to do is help you guys realize that as much as it seemed selfish in the past to put yourself first, to schedule out the things that you need to do and the things that you need to get done for a healthy nutrition, for movement, for sleep, for enticing and growing your mind, and for your personal development. While those things used to seem selfish, it's not anymore. We're moving into a space where that needs to be done in order to be there for everybody else in your life. And that's a really powerful thing to do, to finally say, I realize that I'm not fully present and I'm not fully there for my kids and my husband and my coworkers because I'm so spent and I'm not getting time to do the things that I love because I'm not making myself a priority. That is not okay. We need to undo that. We need to completely reshape it. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we probably start by doing one thing. Okay, and I would believe that one thing would be to get a planner, put in a non-negotiable time each day. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. Break it up if you need, maybe 20 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 10 minutes at the end of the day. Schedule in non-negotiables and do not cancel on yourself. It's actually more selfish to keep going without taking any time to yourself, right? Because how are we present and how are we there for the people that we love when our tank is completely empty, when our bucket is just spent? We can't be. So it's our responsibility to refill our tank, right? It's our responsibility to do the things so that we can be there just as we want to be for everyone else. And when you start adding these things in, so when you start planning out your food, when you start setting aside time to food prep, when you start doing 10, 15 minutes of movement a day, when you start doing your affirmations, taking 5 minutes to do your affirmations or a visualization, you will never go back because your interactions will start to change with your family and with your loved ones. Seriously, your interactions will be more enjoyable, more relaxed, more productive, more present. And if you're like me, that's what you want, right? So we can't use the excuse anymore of, I keep doing everything but putting myself first, because it's not going to fly. It's just going to lead you to burnout, and then you're not going to be there for the people you love. It's actually a dangerous road. So start with one thing. How can I schedule in? Do I have 15 minutes in my day? Do I have 10 minutes in my day? How can I schedule that in and then make it a non-negotiable time? For me, my day starts with non-negotiable. So I usually wake up at 5:30, and that first half an hour is I scrape my tongue, I make my lemon water with a dash of sea salt. I go and I do my affirmations, a little bit of visualization, meditation, prayer, gratitude in that time. So that's that. And then at the end of the day, I do non-negotiable to connect with Matt, my fiance, because otherwise time flies and it's like we didn't get good time to connect. So, and I do legs up the wall a lot too. So those are my non-negotiables. And I want to challenge you, start putting those in. I'm trying to think of what else. Okay. So that's kind of my starting approach, but you guys, you've gotta put yourself first. It's not selfish. It's selfish not to, because other people in your life are going to suffer when you're suffering. So take care of you. It's okay. I'm giving you permission right now. And you know what? The rest of your family will too. Okay. One last thing. I love to use oils in any kind of journey that I have. So I wanted to introduce them to you guys. Let's see. Okay. So I know I talked about grapefruit. Come here. I love to use grapefruit for curb sugar cravings. So I'll just put a drop under my tongue, hold it there, and then let it kind of dissolve. You can also drink it down with water. It's also good for stimulating your lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system is basically our waste system. It gets toxins out of our body, our garbage dump. And it doesn't move on its own. So you would need to move it through exercise, through stimulation, things like that. And so grapefruit is something that does get your lymphatic system moving. So you can massage with coconut oil. It also helps with cellulite. So that's one of my favorite go-tos. You can also put it in baking and cooking. For the mornings when I wake up, I love to use peppermint and wild orange. Okay. Those are my favorite to wake up. So if you're feeling a little sluggish in the morning, if you feel like you rely on coffee a little bit too much, these guys are going to help a lot. Just dabs in your hands, breathe, and then I like to rub it on the back of my neck. And then midday wake up too. Okay, so for digestion, I have a couple. I like Digest Zen is one that's awesome. And you literally put it on your belly with coconut oil and just rub if you have any upset. I've actually have had digestive issues in the past, and these two things have actually pretty much helped cure it. So Digest Zen is really good. Also, if you have candida, you can swallow it. And then ginger is awesome for settling your stomach, settling nausea, things like that. And I'll drop it in my tea and drink it. So I like those two. And then, excuse me, this is one of my favorites because as women, we're really good at not balancing things out, right? And not putting ourselves first. Go figure. So balance. Balance is my favorite. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it through the camera. But so those are some of my favorite because balance helps to keep me calm, a little bit relaxed, more grounded, things like that. We're actually going to do how to use oils class in a couple weeks, just because I think they're amazing. And they've really helped a lot of people on their journey, whether it's with nutrition, whether it's with fitness, whether it's mindset. Also, they help quite a bit. So those are big ones. But if you guys have questions about them, let me know. And if you guys want to order any, you can just ask me as well. I can get you set up. But other than that, thank you guys so much for interacting on the Facebook page. I don't mean to call you guys out, but I'm trying to get everybody kind of interacting. So if I tag your name, please try and respond. We'd love to hear from you guys. I love the group that we're having. You guys are bringing just beautiful energy. So thank you. And I will be seeing you guys again soon.